Bum, 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 bum. Welcome back, my friend. This is BjjBrick Quick. This is your quick Jiu-Jitsu podcast. My name is Byron. The timer started. We're talking about takedowns this week. John Danaher's Feet to Floor series, volume number 1. That's all I've watched. I mentioned it at the beginning of the week, but it's BJJ Fanatics. It's like $197, but you know what, my friends? You could probably find a discount somewhere. It's not my discount. But hang on there, and they do often will mark these things down on BJJ Fanatics, and you get a heck of a deal. Anyways, one of the concepts John was talking about that I'd like to share with you guys, a little snippet, is the idea of overlap takedowns. And as somebody who's been grappling for 20 years, I'd felt this. I had noticed this. I had used this to my advantage. Never had a name to it. And never thought of it as a good way to teach jiu-jitsu. But man, I feel like an idiot for not. This is a good concept. So here's an example. A collar drag. That's one of the takedowns that John recommends. It's going to fit all his criteria. I'll talk about it tomorrow. But all those criteria I talked about on Monday that John lays out, collar drag fits every one of those things. But the other cool thing about it, you could do a collar drag from the guard. Boom. So, maybe you watch this whole thing, or maybe you listen to me all week, and you're still not comfortable on your feet. You can't even stand long enough to even initiate grips. Maybe you train at some really good gym that's right next to a wrestling team, and everybody comes over there and grapples in the off-season. I don't know. Maybe it's tough. But you can get to your guard, and you can do a collar drag. We've all experienced this from one technique or another. Once you've latched onto a technique, you start seeing it in other positions. I like arm and guillotine. It's a good example for me to bring up in this situation. I learned it from the guard. Arm and guillotine from guard. Boom. Then I discovered that I could do this. I don't know, discovered or continued to learn, probably in the same fashion I learned it originally. I could do it from side control. That was kind of nice. Shoot, side control, one thing, I could do it from half guard. When they underhook me. What are you supposed to do in half guard? Underhook? What am I supposed to do? I arm and guillotine that thing. Do it from mount. No problem. I like arm and guillotine from mount. So it could be sometimes a little bit mean, a little cranky. So I do it kind of easy and back. But that's a good move. Super effective. Standing, no problem. So here's a technique I learned. I figured the nuances out. Got the mechanics down from my guard, from a position where I was pretty comfortable. And I added it in to different spots in my game. How many techniques do you have that you learn them from one spot? Armbar. My first armbar from guard. Is that it? Nope. I can do armbar from top, do it from side control, from mount. There's various arm bars from different styles and places. I've even pulled off a few arm bars from 50-50. But none of those I would be doing if I didn't first learn them from an easier spot. Not necessarily easier, because I think a mounted arm bar is probably easier than a guard arm bar, but it's easier to get to guard. It's easier to train. I don't do a standing arm bar, but that's me. Maybe you have that. Maybe you do. They call it a flying arm bar. I don't do those. Anyways, the idea that you could do a takedown, or basically 90% of the mechanics of a takedown, like a collar drag from your guard. That's why one of my favorite things to do from standing up before this DVD, and I still do it, is arm drag. And I think I don't know if I learned it. I think I've probably got it figured out mostly from the guard. And then I incorporate it into my stand-up game. So he has several techniques that he calls overlap. a technique you could do from your guard. He knows we're guard players. He knows if you're watching this, you probably play some guard. He gives you a couple techniques that you could learn the nuances of from the guard, and then stand them up on their own. So now you're standing. It's the same thing, but you're just starting from standing. My guillotine is the same guillotine. I'm just in side control. I'm just in half guard. I'm in mount or standing, whatever. It is a trick to get you to feel comfortable, to get you to get more reps in. We're training in places we have 40 people on a mat that should probably have closer to 15 or 20. Get some reps in. Do some collar drags from your guard. And then when you stand up, there's a little bit of footwork involved, but the rest is the same. Same-ish, anyway. That was a good concept I liked on that DVD. I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to say DVD because I can't say... I don't know what kids call them these days. Downloadable video. It's not a TikTok. I know that much. Oh, man. Okay. If you want to support this podcast, go to Patreon. Kick in a couple bucks a month. We greatly appreciate that, my friends. Hope you have a great day and stay sweaty, my friends.